Welcome everyone to Political Paradigm. I am Terry Ikumi. My guest is Senator Magnus Abe. He's from Rivers State, as a former senator of the Federal Republic and also a former governorship aspirant from that state. Senator Abe, welcome to Political Paradigm.
Thank you very much, Terry.
I think it's nice to be speaking with you again. We had our last conversation, if I recall correctly, in December 2020. What's been happening with you since then? I understand clearly that you wanted to run for office as governor again, and you hit a brick wall, so to speak, this time. Is that an update for us?
I don't think you're current. I didn't hit any brick wall. The usual shenanigans within the All Progressives Congress played itself out, and we have taken a decision that we will be on the ballot, and we're going to be on the ballot, and Rivers people will have the opportunity to decide who ultimately will lead the state. But definitely I will be on the ballot for the 2023 elections.
When you say that you will be on the ballot in 2023, I also recall that you've said repeatedly that you will not leave the APC. As it stands now, it's not your name that's been submitted to INEC as the governorship candidate of the APC, but you will still be on the ballot in 2023. Have you decided that you will leave the APC, or what exactly is your plan?
First of all, Terry, I like to be quoted directly. When you say I will not leave the APC, I wasn't born in the APC. I've been a member of other political parties before, and this is the Federal Republic of Nigeria. If you look at the politics of Nigeria today, it is clear that the political parties, as far as this country is concerned, in my opinion, I don't know how to put this and be very clear in what I'm trying to say. Political parties are more than just the building and the flag and the offices and the positions that people occupy within the political party. I think the political party is more than that. It's about the people. It's about the vision. It's about the collective interest of those that make up the political party. Where in any particular situation, the party walks away from the people and no longer takes their views, their interests, and their long-term vision into account in its dealings, I don't think that that is still the party. So as far as Rivers State is concerned, I believe that the All Progressives Congress in Rivers State appears to have lost its bearing. And I will say this with every sense of responsibility. First of all, Terry, you will recollect that in the run-up to the 2015 elections, when the APC was bettered in Rivers State, I played a very, very prominent, visible role in bringing the APC to life in Rivers State. I don't think anybody in this country is in any doubt about that, because the facts are all there, and the history of how the party was established in Rivers State is there. And I didn't just play that role because I was desperate to play a role. No. Myself and the leader of the party then, the former minister, Rotimi Amechi, we met at Radisson Hotel in Lagos, just the two of us, in the bedroom, and we agreed that we were going to move against the PDP, and that, you know, we were going to take on the government of Goodluck Jonathan. I don't want to go into the details of all that we discussed, but the sum of our discussion that day was that I should take up the responsibility of birthing the new party in the state, and I did. Now, when we finished all that drama and all that, and it was time to pick the governorship candidate of the party, we agreed that the governorship should be zoned to the Rivers Southeast Senatorial District, which is where I come from. I'm from Ogoni. Since the Rivers State was created in 1967 till today, no Ogoni son or daughter has been a governor, has been a deputy governor, has been a speaker, has been a chief judge, or in any way headed any of the branches of the Rivers State government. And I think that is an anomaly in any situation, because the Ogonis are part of the state, and they're a major voting bloc as far as the state is concerned. Now, over and beyond that, in the All Progressives Congress, it is the Southeast Senatorial District that is the base of the party. That's where the party has won the most elections by voting, not by court rulings, but by actual voting of the people. And yet, when it came for time for us to take the decision on the gubernatorial candidate of the party at that time, I and other Ogonis from the Southeast Senatorial District, where we are undoubtedly the majority, were overlooked. And the party, the leader in his wisdom, picked Dr. Dakuku Peterside, who is also from the Rivers Southeast Senatorial District. We took that in good faith. It didn't work at the end of the day. Now, when it came to 2019, and it was time to, after almost 2 years of reruns and you know the whole River story, when it came to 2019, the same leader now takes another decision that it is now no longer by senatorial district. It will now be upland and riverine. That means that I am upland, and so automatically I am now zoned out. Now, I don't know where in the world that would happen, and anybody would accept that as fair, as just, as equitable, because we already had a decision that based on the fact that power had rotated from the West Senatorial District to the East, the Rivers East Senatorial District, where he comes from. And incidentally, because we didn't get our mathematics right, the next governor also came from the same East Senatorial District. Now, finally, we now have an opportunity to actually have a go for the Southeast Senatorial District. And then we reverse ourselves and say that it is now no longer by senatorial district, it will now be by upland and riverine, and I am now zoned out. And Tonye Cole, who is not even a member of the party to my knowledge at that time, who contributed nothing to the entire process and the struggle that gave birth to the APC in the state, who is a businessman in Lagos, now emerges as the quote-unquote riverine candidate of the APC in Rivers State. And then you say you organize a primary in which Tonye Cole scores 900 and something votes, and Senator Magnus Abe scores 2 votes, and you expect me to accept such a process. I'm sure that any reasonable person would understand that there is no way I would accept such a process. Politics is about...
Well, was there an actual process?
Well, you mentioned it here that I didn't emerge as the candidate of the party.
Did you participate in the election?
I didn't participate in the election, but I didn't withdraw from it. So my name was there, but I didn't go there, and I wasn't part of it because I knew what was going on and what was being planned, and I knew that I didn't have an equal or fair access to the process. So I knew what was going to be the outcome of it.
Did you have access to the delegates?
How would I have access to the... Did I know how the delegates would speak? In the whole of APC in Rivers State, I don't even know anybody who is a ward ex-officio, not to talk of a ward chairman.
But then, when you say that the people of Ogoniland have been excluded, if you look at the APC and the PDP right now, the candidates for Rivers State, the frontrunners, are both from the riverine area. Does it make sense that both parties understand that power should go to the riverine area of Rivers State?
Well, I don't know what you mean by both parties understand that the candidates should go to the power should go to the riverine area of Rivers State. The way I understand processes is that when you are making a process, you create an environment in which people can make their case. You understand what I mean? Now, if you create a process in which people can make their case, and at the end of people making their case, the majority of the people take a decision, an informed decision based on that process, in which everybody was given a fair chance to make a case, then you can say that the people have made a decision. But where there is no process that gives the people an opportunity to make their case and then be responded to in that light, people are going to feel excluded. So I think that given the dynamics of the situation, I'm not a member of the People's Democratic Party, so I can't speak for how they came by their candidates. But I know that within my own party, the APC, I and those who see things the way I see them were not given any opportunity to be included in that process. And so we have rejected the outcome of the process, and we are not bound by it. And the only way to resolve these issues is for Rivers people to have an opportunity to vote. And so we are going to present Rivers people with that opportunity to make an informed decision.
With you on the ballot?
With me on the ballot.
On which party?
Through a process in which we are going to be able to present the facts to the people of Rivers State.
What party are you going to achieve that with?
Well,
definitely
Terry,
not the APC, is it?
Terry, that's left to the APC to decide. I'm not the APC. But what I would say to you is that I will be on the ballot, and Rivers people will have an opportunity to decide.
You know what?
That's why we have launched the project SMA.
We will talk about that, but the reason I ask this question is that the deadline for submission of candidates by INEC is almost approaching. We're just days away.
Are you INEC now?
I understand the process as well. That's why I'm bringing it to your attention. It's just days away. And if you insist that you will be on the ballot, I beg your pardon, and it's not clear as to whether or not you would choose a different party, how would you be on the ballot?
I think that's left for the political parties to decide. That's not something that you and I can decide sitting here. So
Senator Magnus Abi,
yes.
My concern is this, or as the question I'm asking you is this. Are you having a second thought about leaving the APC to contest on the platform of another party?
Terry, I will answer the question honestly. I will be on the ballot in Rivers State for 2023.
Regardless of the party.
There's no dispute about that.
Okay, let's talk about the project SMA now, which you have kicked off. And it would seem that you already have your millions of followers based on what I have seen so far. But let's talk about the status of that. How far have you gone with that, and what do you hope to achieve with it?
Well, what we're doing with the project SMA 2023 is a partnership with Rivers people, where we're trying to give people the opportunity of creating a partnership, with the ordinary people of Rivers State that actually takes their interest and their own future into consideration. We want a situation where we're not going to do politics the way politics has always been done, where you come up with your own plan and then you go to the people and say, vote for me or help me, this is what I'm going to do. No. What we're doing is talking to ordinary Rivers men and women to know where their own struggles are, where are they bound, what are their challenges, and what kind of help can they get from the government if they happen to have a partnership with a government that is ready to listen to them. It's not everybody who is going to be a commissioner. It's not everybody who is going to be a local government chairman. It's not everybody who is going to be a minister. It's not everybody who is going to be a senator. But everybody wants to be safe. Everybody wants to have a roof over their heads. Everybody wants to be respected in whatever they are doing. Everybody wants to prosper. Everybody wants their children to be able to have opportunities as they grow up in life. So the most important things that we all need and desire are common to all of us, regardless of our station. And all these things at the end of the day are provided by money. So if we are serious about building a society that works, we must be able to discuss how we create an environment in which ordinary people can make money and be able to prosper within that society. And that is what the project SMA 2023 is all about. How do we partner? How can we get a government that will partner with ordinary people to give them the same opportunities that those who don't like money have? There are those who don't like money, but they live in the best houses, their children are schooling in the best schools, they drive the best cars, they fly in private jets, and yet they don't have money. But the ordinary person would also like to have, those same opportunities and be able to overcome their own challenges in their life.
I recall that that's what Mr. Amechi said, that he doesn't like money.
Oh, you're quoting him now.
I'm recalling. You just said something
No,
similar.
I said
So I'm
those
recalling
who
that he had...
like money have all these things. But those who even say they like money don't have anything. So how do we create an environment in which everybody can get a fair shake? That's what the Project SMA 2023 is all about.
Is Project SMA an alternative to the PDP and APC in Rivers State?
Well, the Project SMA is a partnership. It's a vision of a partnership between the people that will enable them to be able to get their own, how do I now put it now? To be able to, you know, at the end of the day, Terry, we're all here for only a limited time. You know, life actually consists of time. And every year that passes has passed. And for a lot of Rivers men and women, all this time has passed. And, you know, their own personal satisfaction and fulfillment is nowhere near closer than it has always been.
You know, Senator Magnus, while you refuse to say whether or not you will leave the APC, even though we're trying to get a feel as to where you're going with this, one of your allies has left the APC. It's almost an indication that you're preparing to do the same. I'm sure you're familiar with Golding Chioma.
Yes,
He's left the APC.
Yes, I'm aware.
What's your reaction to that?
My reaction, like I said, is that where any political party fails to be able to aggregate the interest of its members and excludes a substantial proportion of the membership, that party may end up just being a building and a flag. The members would go. And Golding's action shows that what I'm saying is actually just reality. And I won't be surprised if other people follow suit. Yeah.
Let me ask you this question. You say that you and the Minister of Transportation built the APC in Rivers State.
Not just us, everybody.
But you were key players.
Oh, yes, of course. No, can anybody deny that I was a key player?
Did you have an agreement with him at any point that you would be governor after him at any point?
I don't think that governorship should be a personal arrangement between any individuals. All I have always said, and all I keep talking about, is that there should be some measure of fairness, some measure of justice, some measure of inclusion, and some measure of opportunity that should be open to all members of a given political party. Rotimi Amechi himself contested for the governorship, and I know that I supported him. And the whole state knows that I supported him. People stood by him, people helped him, but there was an atmosphere in which he was able to play and get his way. He is not contesting for governor, so I don't even see how this conversation includes him. You know, he has a right to support. He's
a leader of the party, isn't he?
Yes, as a leader, your responsibility is to create an atmosphere in which all those that you lead will feel included and feel fairly treated. If you fail to do that as a leader, then your leadership becomes a minus, and it makes it impossible for the group to attain the goals of the group. In a political party, our ultimate objective is to win elections. If we can't work together, if we can't manage our interest in such a way that everybody feels that they have a stake, how can we work together and win elections? And that's why we have not been able to win any elections as the All Progressives Congress in Rivers State. And given that the same things we have been doing are still the same things that we are doing, I find it very, very doubtful that we will get any result different from the result that we have been getting.
Now, while you say, or while you're aggrieved with the process in Rivers State, and you don't seem to have got any sort of intervention from the national level, you've insisted that you will support the presidential candidate of the APC. However, you don't seem to be interested in supporting the candidate of the APC in Rivers State.
Yes, you see, let me tell you, the issue of who leads this country at this time, in my very humble opinion, is way beyond a party issue. The very future of our country will be at stake in these elections. I have carefully looked at all those who are interested in being president of Nigeria. And of all of them, the only person I know that I can see that has actually done something that I respect, both in politics and in governance, and whose principles appeal to my idea of what the average African politician or leadership should be doing that will help to, help the image of the African continent, not just Nigeria, is Asiwaju Ahmed Bola Tinubu. And like I said to Asiwaju, I say, sir, I'm supporting you because I know that you understand money and you understand the importance of creating wealth. That's what government ultimately is about. Government is not judged based on religion, based on sentiment, based on all this, but based on the actual number of ordinary human beings who are happy and able to be happy at a given time. That's why you see when in democracies they talk about government, when you hear them talk, they talk about the number of jobs that are being created, they talk about the opportunities that are being created, they talk about the things that make the ordinary person happy and fulfilled. That is what is defined in the American Constitution as the pursuit of happiness. In terms of looking at the average Nigerian politicians, among those who indicated interest in being president, all of them have been governors. Asiwaju is the only one who has been a governor, and when he stopped being a governor, has not gone back to hold any government position, but politically, he has been able to achieve what in the history of this country, in annals of politics, cannot be dismissed by anybody as ordinary.
Senator Abi,
in terms of the economics,
just a second, Senator Abi.
Yes.
The question was more about the Rivers State APC governorship candidate and less about the presidential candidate.
I don't know much about the...
What I'm asking is, if you will work for or against the APC, if you don't end up on the APC, with the APC ticket...
No, I will not support Toyin Cole. I think that is clear to everybody. I'm not part of how he became a candidate. He's not been part of our party, to my knowledge. He didn't contribute anything to the establishment of the party. He has no record of service to our state, Rivers State. And there is an allegation that over $55 million of Rivers State government money was transferred to him by Rotimi Amechi in a government in which I served, and I didn't even know about it. So how will I go and support such a person to now come and take over the government of Rivers State? I will not do that. I think that much is clear.
But isn't that anti-party? I mean, it would seem that that's the party's position, except you to an extent.
Well, I can't speak for the party, but I can speak for myself. You asked me if I'm going to support the candidate of the APC in the governorship election in Rivers State, and I've told you categorically, no, I will not.
Let us stick with your governorship ambition now. You are a typical Rivers man. You've held positions in government. You practically lived your entire life in Rivers State. So I believe to an extent you understand the plight of the people of Rivers State. Should you become governor, what do you understand to be the needs of the people of Rivers State that you would immediately meet?
Terry, what I've been saying here is that, like I keep explaining to Rivers people, essentially all human beings, all of us are looking for the same thing. And the minute we understand and respect the fact that the same things you want are the same things I want, then in that regard, in such an atmosphere, there's respect, because we understand that we're not much different. You know, when I was born as a baby, what was I doing? As soon as I was born, I started crying. That's the same thing you did. As soon as you understood that succor was coming from your mother's breast, that's where you went to. That's where I also went to. As you grew up and you became a toddler, when they jingled anything shiny or noisy around you, you went for it. That's how you learned how to walk. That's how I also learned how to walk. So as we grow older, we all are looking for the same things because we're basically all human. Now you're working. This is your job. You know, you've become very good at it. It's giving you satisfaction. It's giving you a name. It's giving you recognition. It helps you to pay your bills. That's exactly the same thing other people are looking for. So if we have a government that understands you and understands what you're looking for and create space for you to be yourself and be the best that you can be. If we create a community where people are not obstacles but partners and understand that essentially we're looking for the same thing and we don't have to pull other people off from looking for their own before we can get our own. I think in such a society, the number of people that will be happy, that will be fulfilled, that will be successful will be a lot more than the numbers that we currently have. It was one of our political leaders in the APC who said that, oh, when you people are hungry, you all come and beg me. That's not what leadership should be. Leadership should not be to make people hungry so they come to beg me. Leadership should be about how I eat and they eat. You know? So this is the message that we are taking across to Rivers people, and they are buying into it in their thousands. Why are they doing that? Because
pardon me, I was being specific when I asked you to mention the needs, the direct needs of the Rivers people. I ask this because the Rivers State governor has done quite some projects in Rivers State, but you hear that people say that he hasn't touched lives directly, that there are still people who are hungry, and he hasn't really impacted on them. So I ask you as a typical Rivers man, what are the needs of the Rivers State people that you are aware of that you want to address?
Terry,
and this is not a general question.
Terry, I just answered you. The same needs you have are the same needs everybody in Rivers State has. They want to make money. They want to be able to take care of their families. They want their communities to progress. They want comfort. They want security. Those are the needs of human beings. So why do we pretend that we don't know what people's needs are? What I'm telling you is that what we're doing now is that we are not coming from the position that we are coming with the answers or solutions to everybody's problem. No, we're coming from a position that we need to have a partnership. The people themselves must contribute. The other day I was talking with our civil servants, and I told them, I said, listen, it's not about anybody coming to tell the civil servants, this is what, these are your needs, you have not been paid this, you have not been paid that, I'm going to pay that. No. If the civil servants do their work, because they are actually the arms of the government, if the arms of the government are strong and working effectively, the government itself will make more money. And then providing for those who do the work should not be a problem if the work is yielding the results that it is supposed to yield. For example, we have a Ministry of Housing and Urban Development in Rivers State that has existed for years, not just now. But look at the arrangement of our city. Does that show that the civil servants in that ministry are actually doing their work the way they are supposed to do it? Are they being empowered to do their job the way they're supposed to do it? But once you come into Guzape here, you come into Abuja, you come into Maitama, you see the difference between a situation where government departments are actually doing what they are empowered to do and being allowed to do it, and a place where
at the highbrow areas.
Anywhere can be.
You didn't mention Nyanya. You didn't mention.
I didn't mention Nyanya because the government is not working there.
Settlement areas, the Kuje areas, all those other smaller areas within the FCT were not mentioned. So you are assessing performance based on how the highbrow areas are.
No, I started by telling you that it is the same thing that we are all looking for. Those people in Nyanya, they too want to be in Guzape. They too want Nyanya to be like Guzape. Do you understand what I mean? So if you give an example of London as a city where things are working, it does not mean that you don't know that Aba things are not working in Aba. It means that the example that you want to follow is the example of London and not of Aba. So I can't come here and start giving Nyanya as an example of a place where things are working the way it should work, because it is not working there. But it's working in Maitama, and Nyanya can be like Maitama if the same government that is making Maitama to be Maitama decides to make Nyanya.
I don't want us to overflow the issue. Ordinarily, I would have asked you if there are areas in Rivers State that measure up as well. But let's leave it at that. You know, when I asked you about the needs of the people of Rivers State, I was hoping you would mention, for example, employment issues. Also,
So
the
all
issue of
these,
the black suit.
all these things I was talking about,
Specifics. Absolutely,
you didn't
specifics.
identify
But
employment.
you spoke generally.
Yes, I'm talking generally because I have told you that we want the people involved. That's what I'm telling you.
The black suit issue and
Yes.
the Ogoni cleanup. How would you go about them? How would you address it? The black suit is something that the River State governor has complained about a million times. He's tried to apprehend illegal bunkers, and that hasn't really helped. Still a challenge in River State, health challenge.
To be very honest with you, the situation with the black suit has improved substantially. And it does goes to show that when government is determined to achieve something and the political will to make that change is there, things happen effectively and amazingly. And the issue of how this black suit thing was contained is one of those examples of something that the government was able to mobilize the people and achieve substantial progress in that respect. Because I go to Port Harcourt all the time, and I can tell you that the incident is coming down seriously. Before, if you go to Port Harcourt, you just remove your shoe and step on the ground, it's black. But now all that is coming down quite rapidly, and that should be commended. That said, environmental challenges are also, in a way, economic challenges. When people, their economic circumstances improve, they themselves desire a better environment. If you see people who are living in a slum, as soon as they get money, they get a job, their economic circumstances improve, they move out of the slum, they move into a better area. And where majority of the people living in a slum, their economic circumstance improves, you see the slum itself beginning to look better because everybody is making more money. People start, even if it's just cementing the front of their house, changing their zinc. Before you know it, the slum begins to look better. And I saw that when I went to Soweto. You would expect Soweto to be a major slum, but it's actually a very clean, it has become a very clean looking neighborhood. So at the end of the day, environmental issues are also tied to economic issues. If you look at our rivers and the level of pollution in the waters, in the areas where people have very little economic sustaining ability, you won't recognize the place if you come back in 10 years where people now have proper toilets and proper dustbins and money to be able to take care of their garbage and all that. So I believe that the environment is a major challenge, but you see that challenge is always tied to poverty in some way. And when we create an economic environment that builds prosperity all around, I believe that one of the first things we will notice will be naturally a better and a cleaner environment.
How about the Ogoni cleanup? I know that you had always talked about your fears about regarding that cleanup. You talked about how insecurity may be a challenge. You also pleaded with HYPER to sort of ensure that the process is well done. It's been a while now. How would you assess the cleanup exercise so far?
Like I said before, the cleanup exercise was not going in the right direction. And when I said that, people gathered and, you say something that people who have resources don't want to hear, they throw stones at everything. But it doesn't change the facts. But right now, because there's a new project coordinator that has just been appointed, I would like to hold my peace and give him some time. Let's see what is different. And the minister is also new. I like to just hold my peace and give them some time. But the project so far has been a major disappointment to the Ogoni people. None of the very high expectations that we had of this project had so far been met. But I do understand that the resources are still there, I hope. And some of the stories that we heard about how these resources have been squandered and filtered away, I gather that that may not be the case. So I'm really very, very hopeful. My own concern had always been that we can't have a situation where the entire Ogoni struggle, this is the only visible return that the Ogoni people have gotten. And it would be a shame if at the end of this whole $1 billion, the place will still be exactly the way it was before the Ogoni cleanup. That's why from the beginning, I made a commitment that I will not take 1 naira, either by proxy or by contract or by any kind of favor from HIPREP, so that I will retain my voice to say what I think needs to be said at the time it needs to be said. And I want to say here publicly that I have kept to that public commitment, and if there is need to speak up, I will, as I did the other time. But right now, let's give them an opportunity to see if anything will change.
Senator Magnus, as we look toward the 2023 governorship election in Rivers State, Governor Nyesom Wike's tenure is winding down. How would you assess his performance and possibly link that to how your people have benefited, the people of Ogoni have benefited from the government of Nyesom Wike in the past 7 years plus?
You know, there's always this attempt to try to hear what I would say about Wike and all that.
He's your governor.
He's our governor. But let me say this. As at the time Wike took over, Nigerians forget that the outgoing governor publicly said that Wike will not be able to pay salaries in Rivers State. It's on record. That he will see how Wike will be able to pay salaries. That's what he said. Now, the man that was not expected to be able to pay salaries has been hailed and heralded for the infrastructure projects that he has been able to put in place. I think it would be unfair not to admit that as far as the things he set out to do in terms of infrastructure is concerned, the governor has done fairly well. And I think that anybody who is making an objective analysis of his tenure will be kind to him that he did his best. But there is still a lot of work to be done in Rivers State. And like I keep saying, the aspiration of every people is to get better. That's why every year you see Toyota will bring out a new model, iPhone will bring out a new model. You know, everybody tries to improve, and Rivers State too should try to improve. But that is in no way that does not in any way subtract from the fact that people who have had the opportunity have actually put in something that we should commend them for.
So that's an improvement that the APC plans to bring in 2023?
I don't think that the APC will be in a position to bring any improvement to Rivers State in 2023. But I leave that to you. If that
Why is that? Because of Tonya Cole?
I think that whoever Rivers people elect as their leader in 2023 has an obligation to the state to improve on what we have.
You know, that's really disturbing as an APC man, but I know what your position on that, so I don't want us to stretch it. However,
well, you are stretching it at every opportunity.
I'm not stretching it. It would seem that the PDP has had an unopposed run in Rivers State in the past 7 years plus. No opposition voice seems to be speaking loud enough against the PDP in Rivers State. You should ask you yourself said that the APC has a leader in Rivers State. Those questions should be directed to the leadership of the All Progressives Congress, which is supposed to be the main opposition party. But like I said to you, where you don't run a system that is able to achieve the goals for which the system is set up, that clearly is a pathway to failure. And as a political party in Rivers State, the All Progressives Congress has not been able to run a system that has been able to achieve the objective for which political parties exist, which is to win elections. And it is always something of that amuses me when you talk to some people within the party and they say, oh, it's because Senator Abe is working with Wike, this and that and that. A party wins elections by overcoming every opposition. So it doesn't matter what other people do. You should have a plan that is bigger, better, gathers more people, and overwhelms the plan of your opponents. That's how you win.
So if you're incapable of producing and sustaining a system that is able to overcome your opponents, it means there's something wrong, either with your system or with your plan or with your position, or it simply means that you're not strong enough.
So that's clearly meaning that the APC led by Mr. Rotimi Amechi has failed to live up to his opposition responsibilities in Rivers State.
It has not been able to win elections in Rivers State. And the way it is going, I don't think that anything will be different from the past.
You know, many have described you as disloyal to Rotimi Amechi, considering the fact that he appointed you as a secretary to the government of the Federation when he was governor at the time. You ran for Senate. He reappointed you as SGF. And some would ask why you would be going against him because of your personal ambition and not showing any form of loyalty.
You see, let me tell you this. Politics is a team sport. You don't play politics like a personal sport. In a team, everybody has a role, and team members play together. That's how you win. So if you are the captain of the team, it is wrong for you to assume that if the team wins a match, it is because you're the best captain, or you're the only captain, or every member has to be loyal to you for the team to win. That's not how teams win. There is no I in the word team. You work together, you win together. Myself, Rotimi Amechi, and a whole lot of us who came from the House of Assembly, we started out as colleagues. I'm not Rotimi Amechi's boy. The meetings we used to hold as a group when we were trying to get into power were all held in my house. And we're all friends, brothers. We talk to each other the way we friends talk to one another. So if we worked like that and he became governor, he won't be governor and be secretary to government. Somebody else has to be secretary to government. Today you're talking to me. Everybody talks about the followership, the support that I have in Rivers State. It's being developed and sustained by people. The other day, they were having some crisis at the party secretariat, and I was here in Port Harcourt, and I was here in Abuja. And when I went into the office of somebody, and they were discussing the issues in Port Harcourt, they were shocked to find out that I was in Abuja, and all that was happening in Port Harcourt. That is being done by people. It was the same thing that people did for Amechi. He was in Ghana. People were here. Wiki was here. I was here. You know, Chief Andrew Chindi were here. So if he came back and became governor, will he also be chief of staff? Will he also be secretary to government? Does that make us his boys? And do we now have to then subsume our every other interest to his own, to be loyal to him? That's not what politics means. Politics is a game of interest. And it is also something that everybody brings his base, you know? I kept telling you people, when you were asking me why I was not supporting him for president, I told you because he has no base. I have a base. You know, that's why I'm a viable politician. So I cannot disregard the interest of my base. I have told you here that this is how my people feel. I can't be disloyal to my people and be loyal to Rotimi Amechi. How does that work for you? And how does that work for
Would you have
anybody?
supported him if he had emerged as the presidential candidate of the APC?
No, I would have left the party.
Why?
Well, I did say from the beginning that it will depend on the process. You see, you can't give what you don't have. He came to Abuja to benefit from a process that gave him a fair chance. And he's very proud of the fact that he came second because he had a fair chance to participate and take part in that process. But for us who have worked with him in Rivers State, he denies us the same thing that he claims for himself. So how do I support something that I know that if he were the president, that kind of convention will not hold? I'll put the future of the country in peril. You must be able to understand that, as I told you from the beginning, the issue of who becomes president of Nigeria is more important than any political party. It is about the future of our country. It is about how this country and this continent is perceived in the outside world. A political party, you know, that would not be able to deliver on. I promised my daughter that I would not support anybody that I don't believe will make Nigeria better. And I just don't think he can make Nigeria better given his track record in the politics of Rivers State.
Let's talk about the man that you believe will make Nigeria better now, Asiwaju Bola Tinubu. While you have praised him so well, believing that he is eminently qualified to be president of this country, I think beyond qualification, one of the questions many would ask is he the most popular among the voters in comparison with Atiku, Peter Obi, and if I may add, Kwankwaso, in terms of popularity?
That's why we're going to have elections now. You see, all this issue of popularity can be decided by WhatsApp, by Facebook. Nobody can take away from what Peter Obi is adding to the politics of this country. Nobody can take it away. Win or lose, you know, he embodies the boldness of the kind of democracy that we will all like to see. But in terms of practical ability to deliver on the expectations of people, Peter Obi was governor of Anambra State. He doesn't live there. And all these things that he's going to do, they are not in existence in Anambra. I hear Soludo talk all the time. He inherited whatever Obi planted in Anambra. I don't see him excited about what has been put in place there. But look at Lagos. Look at the trajectory of Lagos. You know, so my decision to support Asiwaju is based on personal conviction and practical understanding of what I think government is supposed to be about. Obi may be a better communicator in terms of how he's able to market himself to the young people and build their hopes and expectations and all that. That's something we should all learn from. But in terms of the practical ability, you know, to get things done, I don't see where I will hold him to in that respect. It's still more of a gamble than anything of certainty. When you talk about Atiku Abubakar, well respected, former vice president, but where really is a track record that we're going to hold on to in terms of Atiku's performance in government? It's not there. You know, he was head of the economy, and every day from his boss to all those who took part in the things that he did, there are always accusations of, you know, personal interest, sleaze, this, that, including the fact that a congressman in the U.S. who was his friend and all that had to go to jail, in which he was mentioned as part of all that. But you look at the projects that are going on in Lagos State, even look at the waterway thing that they're doing, is funded by international banks and international financiers because it meets every criteria. So if at the end of the day you accuse Asiwaju he makes money, he doesn't make money by being careless with state funds. He makes money by giving people an opportunity to make money, by building world-class projects. Look at Eco Atlantic. That shoreline was always there. But today now, a piece of land there is worth over $3,000 per square meter. Look at the Lekki free zone and compare it with any other free zone in this country. Look at what Dangote said the day he was talking about why he decided to go to Lagos to go and build his refinery. He went to 3 other states. What was the reaction he met from the governors? They were governors like Asiwaju. Did Asiwaju ask him for a percentage of his refinery before he can build it in Lagos? He put the interest of the people of Lagos above every other interest. If today he benefits from that, can anybody blame him? But I was with the government in Rivers State. I know when all these people came to try to do similar things in Rivers State. Do they exist in Rivers State? They don't, you know? So I am not a baby. I have decided to support Asiwaju. Nigerians are free.
You've ignored Kwankwaso.
Sorry?
You've ignored Kwankwaso. I mentioned him.
Kwankwaso is my brother. His time is coming, you know. I don't think this is his time, and I think he understands that. Kwankwaso is a very good friend of mine, and he's still very young. He's building a base that will be very good for the future. And when his time comes, we are there for him. He is our friend. He is our brother. You know, but this, you know that this is not his time. He doesn't have that spread, but he's a great guy. But what I'm saying is that me supporting Asiwaju, that one I have made up my mind, and I didn't make up my mind because of anything. You'll be surprised that, you know, people talk about me and Asiwaju. He listens to me just like you listen, and I tell him what I want to tell him and the expectations that we have of him and why we are following him.
Do you think that Asiwaju will win in the South? South specifically?
I know that Asiwaju will be sworn in as president of Nigeria.
Or do you think he will win in the South?
What are we there for now? We are there to help him win in the South.
So that's why you've promised him 1 million votes. But even at that, it would seem that there is the APC in the South is struggling to win certain states. 2, in Rivers State, where you are and the former Minister of Transportation is as well, it would seem that the APC is struggling to find its footing. So where would you get 1 million votes?
Asiwaju will get more votes than the APC in Rivers State. I can tell you that. Asiwaju will get more votes than the APC in Rivers State.
Than the PDP, you mean?
Asiwaju will get more votes than the APC in Rivers State. I can tell you that.
Okay, that's something. That's I understand where that's coming from. Let me get your reaction to this. The concerns about the Muslim ticket. Is that a concern for you?
Terry, I have said this somewhere before, and a lot of people took exception to it. But I like to speak the truth. In this country, what we have agreed to is a North and South divide. Because what was brought together to make Nigeria was a Northern and Southern protectorate. And the Northern protectorate was fundamentally majority Muslim. And the Southern protectorates were, of course, majority Christian. Now we have agreed on that. When it is the turn of the South, and that power must rotate between the North and the South, when it is the turn of the South to produce a president, I believe that every Southerner, whether a Muslim or a Christian, who is able to build the bridges and who is able to build the structures and the acceptability and the reputation across this country to be president of our country is qualified. Now, when it comes to the turn of the North to produce the president, I also believe that any Northerner, whether he's a Muslim or a Christian, who is able to build the structures and bridges and friendships that can make the person president of Nigeria is equally qualified. This issue of Muslim, Christian, always comes up whenever somebody who is not from the major religion of either region is picked. It came up when Abiola was picked as the presidential candidate of the SDP. And the issue became whether he should pick a Christian from the north and all that and all that. At the end of the day, he picked a Muslim. And Nigerians showed that they understood that this was a north-south ticket, which is what we have agreed to. So this issue has come up again because Asiwaju is a Muslim. And that is why it has become a hot topic. If we don't accept that and we continue to interrogate this religious identity in a manner that destroys our ability to be able to get the best for our country, we do ourselves a disservice. If we don't leave this religion and this, the way we are treating it, it is capable of igniting this nation. And I just don't think it is right. Asiwaju himself is a Muslim from the South. If we're picking the Speaker of the House of Representatives from the South, we're not going to pick another Muslim. So there are ways we can balance this thing and everybody will have a sense of inclusion and the country can move forward. But if we now turn this whole debate into Muslim, Christian, Muslim,
I was
Christian,
more concerned about the voters. It's the voters who have that
we
concern.
have to talk with the
party,
voters.
It's a party issue, but outside,
It's people who are talking to the voters. We need to tell them something else, that we need to focus on the prosperity, on the future, on the ability of us to gather leaders, from whatever spectrum that can move this nation forward.
Very well, then. We're almost, we're done, actually, but I need to ask you this question. I need to get this clarification once and for all.
You're looking very mischievous.
I'm not looking mischievous. When we look at your political history and your time in the Senate, just before you went to contest for the first time as governor of Rivers State, I think in the build-up to the 2019 elections, there were rumors that you were being offered the position of the Deputy Senate President to let go of your governorship ambition. Was that true? Haven't
you heard now that there are rumors that I'm being offered a position I should not?
You're being offered a position?
No, I said, if you're talking about rumors of position, there are always rumors of position.
Are you being offered a position now?
No, there's no position to offer.
Were you offered the position of the Deputy Senate President in 2019?
See, let me tell you. Politics is a game of interest.
This is a straightforward question.
Politics is a game of interest. I have told you what my interest is. My interest is that I would like to show the world that black people can run a system that actually works. That would be my job.
That's just a straightforward question,
I would also like to show that the people ultimately have the power to decide in a democracy. Those are the things that are important to me.
At the time, it was rife that you were the one senator who was probably tipped to be the Deputy Senate President. That's what I'm asking you.
I don't want to be.
Were you offered that?
I don't want to be Deputy Senate President.
But were you offered?
I'm a supporter of the Deputy Senate President. He's my brother. Ovi is my brother.
Senator Magnus, I thank you so much.
Thank you.
For coming to speak with me on Political Paradigm.
Thank you very much.
And I wish you well with your governorship ambition.
Thank you.
I think you've sort of confused me beyond my understanding now from this conversation. But I wish you well, and we'll wait for the news in the coming weeks.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
That's Political Paradigm. Thank you for your time. Catch this episode and more on YouTube or go to channelstv.com. I'm Terry Ikumi. Goodbye.